Then came the 20th century. 2 world wars tested Britain's heart. From the trenches of France to the Blitz over London, the British people refused to surrender. When Churchill declared, "We shall never surrender," the world listened. The empire began to fade, but the British spirit did not. They had lost colonies, but gained courage, unity, and honor. Every great transformation begins not with the world changing, but with a single person deciding they can no longer live the same way. It's not the noise outside that reshapes your destiny. It's the quiet decision inside you that says, enough. You don't need the perfect plan or the perfect timing. What you need is that spark that makes you take one small, brave step forward, even when you have no clue where it will lead. The truth is, change doesn't arrive in one thunderous moment. It creeps in through the small acts of courage you repeat every day. It's in the choice to wake up earlier, to speak up when your voice shakes, to keep going when your energy fades, and to believe that your life still holds more chapters than the ones you've already read. That's where the real magic begins, in the moments no one celebrates, in the days when you show up even though nothing seems to work. You start to realize that growth isn't always visible, but it's always happening beneath the surface, like roots pushing through the dark soil, quietly building strength for the bloom to come. Most people wait for confidence to appear before they act, but confidence is built through the act itself. You can't think your way into boldness. You have to move into it. Every time you do something hard, every time you choose discomfort over regret, you prove to your mind that you are capable. And once your brain believes that, everything begins to shift. The fear doesn't vanish, but your response to it changes. Instead of running, you lean in. Instead of doubting, you test. Instead of quitting, you adapt. That's how transformation actually happens, not through motivation, but through momentum. You take one step, and that step gives you evidence. That evidence builds belief, and belief builds identity. Before you know it, you no longer have to convince yourself you're capable. You simply are. You've become the kind of person who follows through. And that realization is the most powerful kind of freedom you can ever experience. There will always be a gap between where you are and where you want to be. And most people waste their energy complaining about the gap instead of walking through it. The space between who you are and who you could be is supposed to feel uncomfortable because that's the space where growth happens. If it feels easy, it means you're not stretching enough. If it feels uncertain, it means you're in the right direction. The discomfort you feel is not a sign to stop. It's the signal that you're evolving. Every version of your future self is waiting for you to act like them now before you see the results. If you want to become disciplined, act disciplined. If you want confidence, act confident. If you want peace, act with peace. You don't wait for transformation, you behave your way into it. Every action, no matter how small, is a vote for the person you are becoming. And the more votes you cast, the stronger that identity becomes, until it's no longer an act, it's simply who you are. The world doesn't reward potential, it rewards execution. You can read every book, listen to every podcast, and plan every strategy, but if you don't take action, nothing changes. Action is the bridge between intention and reality. It's messy, imperfect, and often uncertain, but it's the only way through. You can't think your way out of fear. You can only move through it. Every small decision you make to show up anyway rewires your brain for courage. You start realizing that you don't need motivation to begin. You need motion to create motivation. Once you move, your energy shifts, your focus sharpens, and your heart remembers what it's capable of. And in that motion, you find momentum. In that momentum, you find belief. And in that belief, you find the power to rebuild. Everything from the inside out. There comes a point in every life when you realize that waiting for the perfect moment is the fastest way to waste your potential. You keep saying you'll start when things calm down, when you have more time, when you feel more certain. But the truth is, those moments never come. Life doesn't slow down to make room for your dreams. It tests how badly you want them. Every excuse you make sounds reasonable until you remember that time isn't pausing while you hesitate. The people who create extraordinary lives aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who started messy, scared, unsure, but started anyway. They learned that progress doesn't come from confidence. It comes from courage. Confidence is built after you act, not before. Every time you move forward despite fear, you train your mind to trust yourself, and that trust becomes your real power. The more you act, the quieter the doubt becomes, because action destroys hesitation. Every great comeback, every story of transformation, begins with someone choosing to take responsibility for their life. Not blame, not guilt, but ownership. Because when you own your story, you take back your power. You stop waiting for someone to rescue you or circumstances to align. You realize that the only person coming to save you is you, and that's not a burden. It's freedom. Responsibility gives you control, and control gives you direction. It allows you to shift from reacting to creating. You stop saying, "I have to," and start saying, "I choose to." That one shift changes everything, because it moves you from victimhood to victory. The moment you understand that your habits are your destiny, you stop negotiating with your excuses. Every choice becomes a vote for the future you want. Every discipline you practice is a seed for the life you're building, even when it doesn't look like it yet. You'll have days when it feels like nothing. G is working, when the effort seems invisible and the reward feels distant. But those are the days that count the most. Those are the days that shape your character. Growth doesn't happen when things are easy. It happens when you push through what you don't want to do. The path to mastery isn't made of motivation. It's made of discipline. Motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going. Discipline is doing the work long after the mood has left you. It's waking up early when no one is watching. It's staying focused when distractions call your name. It's saying no to what feels good now so you can say yes to what feels great later. Every small act of consistency builds resilience, and resilience is what separates the dreamers from the doers. Because at some point, you'll have to decide whether you want comfort or growth, and you can't have both. You don't need to have everything figured out to begin. You just need to trust that you can handle what comes next. Every person you admire once started at zero. They stumbled, they failed, they doubted themselves, but they kept showing up. The difference between those who make it and those who don't isn't intelligence or opportunity. It's endurance. The ability to keep going when nothing guarantees success. The courage to bet on themselves when no one else does. And the humility to learn, adjust, and begin again. Life rewards those who move, not those who wait. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your systems. Build habits that support the future you want, and the results will follow. Keep showing up for your life even when it's inconvenient. Keep working on your vision even when it feels impossible. The road will test you, break you, and remake you, but that's how transformation works. You don't find strength. You build it, one choice at a time, until the person you've become can finally handle the life you once only dreamed of. Every day you wake up with two choices: to repeat the same patterns that keep you stuck, or to rewrite them and move closer to the life you say you want. The truth is, change doesn't come from inspiration alone. It comes from systems. You can't rise above the structure of your habits. You can have the biggest dreams, but if your daily actions don't align with them, they stay dreams forever. Success isn't about willpower, it's about design. It's about creating an environment that makes the right choices easy and the wrong ones hard. Because willpower fades, but structure sustains. The people who seem unstoppable aren't stronger than you. They've just built systems that make success automatic. They don't rely on motivation to act, they rely on process. And that's the secret to consistency, the bridge between intention and achievement. Once you learn to master your systems, you stop chasing discipline and start living it. Your brain is wired for patterns. Every behavior you repeat becomes easier, not because it's right, but because it's familiar. That's why breaking old habits feels so uncomfortable. You're literally fighting your brain's programming. But the same mechanism that locks you into bad habits can be used to build powerful ones. The key is to start small. Momentum doesn't come from massive change, it comes from manageable steps. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. You just need to prove to yourself that you can do one small thing consistently. Because consistency compounds. One positive action repeated enough times creates a new identity. You stop saying, "I'm trying to be disciplined," and start saying, "I am disciplined." And that shift in identity is everything. You will always act in alignment with who you believe you are. Change your habits, and you change your beliefs. Change your beliefs, and you change your entire reality. Success leaves clues. And one of the biggest is structure. Every high performer, every leader, every innovator you admire has systems that protect their focus. They don't rely on motivation to start. They design routines that remove friction. They plan their days the night before. They keep their environments clean. They decide once and automate as much as they can. Because every decision costs energy, and wasted energy kills progress. You don't lose momentum because you're lazy. You lose it because you're distracted. The modern world is built to steal your attention, but discipline is how you take it back. Protect your mornings, guard your focus, and respect your time as if it's your most valuable currency. Because it is. The person who wins is rarely the one who works harder. It's the one who works with more clarity. The system you build should support your future, not sabotage it. Every minute you spend designing structure is a minute that pays you back for life. When you start building systems, resistance will appear. Your mind will try to pull you back to the familiar, whispering that it's too hard, too strict, too unrealistic. That voice isn't truth. It's fear disguised as logic. The brain fears uncertainty, but growth lives there. The way forward is to act before you feel ready. Once action becomes part of your structure, your emotions stop controlling your progress. You no longer depend on how you feel to do what needs to be done. You just follow your system. That's how athletes train, how leaders rise, how creators produce. They've built a rhythm that turns hard work into second nature. And when life throws chaos their way, their system holds them steady. Because real freedom isn't doing whatever you want. It's having the structure that lets you move with purpose. Once you master that, you no longer chase results. You create them. You stop hoping for progress and start airing it. One habit, one system, one disciplined day at a time. Every dream demands a price, and the price is always paid in effort, patience, and persistence. The moment you decide to chase something bigger than yourself, life will test your commitment. It will not ask you if you are ready. It will demand proof through your actions. Every obstacle, every delay, every rejection is not a sign to quit. It's an invitation to prove how badly you want it. Most people give up not because the goal is impossible, but because they expect the journey to be easy. Growth was never meant to be comfortable. It's meant to challenge your limits, stretch your beliefs, and force you to become the kind of person capable of holding the success you're asking for. You can't expect a breakthrough while living with the same habits that built your breakdown. The real transformation begins the moment you stop complaining about the struggle and start using it as fuel. The people who rise are not the ones who never fail. They're the ones who never stop learning from failure. Every setback carries a lesson that shapes your next move. The pain you feel while failing is the same force that builds your endurance. You can't become strong by avoiding resistance. You become strong by facing it until it no longer breaks you. Every time you push through something hard, you expand your capacity for more. And that's how progress really happens, not in giant leaps, but in small victories that build one on top of another. The moments that hurt the most are the moments that teach you what you're made of. You will never know your strength until you have no other choice but to use it. The truth is, success is not about talent. It's about tenacity. It's about how long you're willing to keep showing up after the excitement fades, and the results take longer than you expected. The world doesn't reward those who start. It rewards those who persist. Everyone begins with motivation, but very few continue with discipline. Motivation is a spark, but discipline is the engine. It's what keeps you moving when your emotions no longer cooperate. The people who achieve greatness aren't necessarily more gifted. They just refuse to stop. They understand that consistency compounds. One extra day of effort, one more repetition, one more call, one more idea written down, it all adds up. And while most people are looking for shortcuts, the ones who win are busy mastering the long road, because they know that what you do daily becomes who you are permanently. It's easy to dream big. It's hard to act small and steady every single day. But that's exactly where success lives, in the unglamorous, unseen grind that builds momentum long before anyone notices. At some point, you have to stop doubting and start doing. You can analyze forever. You can wait for the right time, but perfection is just another form of procrastination. The only way to gain clarity is through action. Every move you make, no matter how uncertain, gives you feedback. And feedback is what creates wisdom. You can't think your way into progress. You have to move your way into it. Life rewards action, not intention. So take the next step, even if it's small, even if it's messy, even if you're scared, because movement is what transforms fear into focus. Once you begin, your confidence grows, your purpose sharpens, and the noise of doubt fades into the background. The people who change their lives aren't the ones who wait for certainty. They're the ones who move before it appears. You already have everything you need to begin. All that's missing is the decision to stop waiting and start building. Every act of persistence becomes proof of your power. Every struggle becomes part of your story. And every day you keep going brings you closer to the person you were always meant to become. Every journey, no matter how impossible it seems at the start, always comes down to one truth. You either keep waiting for the right time, or you decide to make now the right time. The path to transformation isn't built on luck. It's built on daily decisions that no one sees and discipline that no one celebrates. You learn that success isn't a finish line. It's a lifestyle. It's not about reaching perfection. It's about refusing to quit while you're still becoming. Every challenge, every delay, every moment of doubt was never meant to stop you. It was meant to shape you. Because the person you become through the process will always matter more than the reward at the end. So keep showing up, keep building, keep believing. The world doesn't need another person waiting for permission. It needs someone who dares to rise, someone who decides that their story isn't over yet, someone who turns their struggle into strength and their vision into reality.